Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. Let's begin with some of the controversies coming from Ondo State and the politics ahead of the governorship election. In Ondo State, it appears a fever is in the air ahead of the October governorship election, but some controversies rage when a former APC chairman and a chieftain of the party was caught on tape in online boasting to be a militant and making reference to using federal might against the opposition in the coming election. Let me allow you to listen just a bit for a few seconds to part of what that man you see there, Mr. Isaac Kekemeke, who is a former chairman of the APC in Ondo State, said. Well, let's speak to that man who a lot of the politicians in PDP and APC are talking about the issue of the federal might in the governorship election. Mr. Isaac Kekemeke, former chairman of the APC, joins us now via Skype from Akure. Thank you so much, Mr. Kekemeke, for joining us tonight on the program. In that tape, you spoke largely in Yoruba language, and the interpretation of some of those things that you have said, or you said, were that you are a militant and that you're going to use federal might in the governorship election. Why would you say such a thing? And is that a plan of your party ahead of that election?
Hello, Sean.
Hello, good evening, and I can hear you clearly.
Well, most of the things that I said were humor and sarcasm. And when I said that I was a militant, it was a pep talk where I said that I was a fighter. I can be an activist. I can be aggressive. Of course, and like you know, those are variations of the militant. You have intellectual militants, you have political militants, you have people who hold very strong views over certain matters. That is all I said. And as to whether the federal might was coming or not, that was some euphemism for saying that our party will not, should, and as a matter of fact, use whatever advantages of incumbency it has. That is worldwide. That's what everybody does with the incumbency. And like I said, that was supposed to be a home talk, pep up my supporters. And it was not meant to intimidate anyone. It was not meant to harass anyone. It was not meant to work violence on anyone. And I have explained this over and over, that the video that you have just released is distorted, is spawned, is taken out of context, and a lot of things have been written into it. Somebody, for instance, there was no mention of NURTW there, but Sahara Reporters talks about NURTW and all manner of things. That's the situation.
I mean, you as a former chairman of the APC, you wanted also to be the candidate of your party in this election. You know the consequence of some of the things that you said there. But if you say that those were jokes, for a lot of the people who are watching, especially your opponent, for example, you took responsibility in that tape of destroying the posters of the opposition, and you made a threat that it has just started. Could that also be referred as a joke?
No, it's not true. At no point in time in that video did I say that either Governor Akeredolu or myself was responsible for defacing posters of Jegede. All I said was stunting. That, look, the man is shouting that they're just tearing his posters. He hasn't seen none here. You know, just to say that, look, it's wailing. Elections are not here. It's wailing. That's all it means. It meant, I never said that Akeredolu tore his posters. How can I say so? I don't have such evidence. And I don't even didn't tear his posters. It was an home talk. And I was just saying, Koiti ring. In other words, he isn't seen nothing.
No,
Hasn't
but
seen nothing.
Mr. Kekemeke, if you say those are just mere pep talk and you're just joking about it, you are...
Tongues.
Say
Tongues
that
are
again.
what fella we call yabis.
Yeah, but I mean, as a politician, you know the graffiti of some of the things you were saying, and especially you were addressing your supporters and your party faithful at that event, and you want the people of Ondo State to believe that those are just mere jokes.
The video clip you just played is distorted. You needed to put it in context. I think it's about an hour or so of a broadcast. So people have just picked up one or two stances in isolation to give them the kind of meaning they want to give to them.
No,
And
because
I've also
here
received several calls.
on this platform is our responsibility to hold politicians and people in leadership to responsible for what they say and also for what they swear to do. But you, as a leader of your party, and allegations coming from the opposition that there are fears of the use of federal might or security in the election, and those are some of the words that were interpreted in what you have said.
No, I talked about federal incumbency. Federal might simply means incumbency. Everywhere in the world, people use incumbency to their advantage. Everywhere in the world, in America and Britain, everywhere. So I am not ashamed to say that our state incumbency and federal incumbency will be legally exploited for our advantage. No, but there is no place in that video where I called on people to be violent, where I said I was going to use arms. As a matter of fact, the reference to arm was when I said that, look, some people try to threaten me that they were thugs. And that I'm in Niger Delta. I'm never afraid of people like that. I've seen much more of that. That's exactly what I said. So if people take that video, they will see it. It was just an attempt at saying, look, I can't be harassed. Look, I can't be intimidated. Look, I've seen talks that I've seen threats that are much more than this. And if you recall in 2007, I was threatened. So I said, look, I've seen this, so nobody can come to threaten me. So I never threatened anyone. I merely explained that I couldn't be threatened.
No, Mr. Kekemeke, you probably have learned from the lesson about what you say in public, especially at this very critical time in our politics.
Well, that's well taken, and that was the reason why I said that those who innocently feel troubled by what I said, that they deserve an apology from me, because what they are saying is that what they saw and what they had was not the me that they know. And so I apologized to those who genuinely feel pain. But I'm also saying that those who have decided to turn around what I'm saying for their selfish political moves, I have to talk to them. And what I am saying is everywhere in the world, incumbency, you use it to advantage. And the APC should lawfully and legally
we must leave it at that. And thank you so much for talking to some of those things that you have said. But let's hear now from...
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's hear from the candidate of the PDP, who was perhaps being referred to in that tape. Mr. Jegede joins us via telephone. Thank you so much, Mr. Jegede. Let me get your reaction. You heard what Mr. Kekemeke has said. He said those were just jokes. How do you react to that?
Well, my immediate reaction then was to ignore the speaker, but then having consider the fact that he is a lawyer, a senior lawyer for that matter, who was also privileged to be an attorney general of Ondo State at a point in time, and who also, I believe, was the SSG at some point, to canvass violence openly is repulsive. It does not represent the best of the traditions of the bar as a legal practitioner. It does not represent the values that Ondo people stand for. It does not represent the peace that all of us look forward to in the coming election. It represents some level of desperation and lawlessness. It represents threats to life, not only for myself, but the entire people of Ondo State. And I want to believe that these are people who also have a family. And then he talks about other family members who are also children of some people. in a language of threat, AK-47, for a lawyer, for God's sake. So embarrassing, so repulsive. But then, again, leave the public to judge, and it's something that should not have happened in a civilized society. That's all I need to say. And then we move on because we are focused on winning the election. And those who want to disrupt the election by use of AK-47, the world is there to judge. But we will win, no doubt. No doubt.
Mr. Jegede, the PDP governorship candidates in Ondo State, thank you so much for your time tonight.